Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to the podcast. We tried a different angle today. How are we feeling? We're going to talk this week about things that have happened up until now. So, I'm not going to lie to you guys, but we're recording this like right after the last video. Because I'm sorry, but I need backups, okay? I need backup videos for the weeks where I'm just like so depressed or so burnt out that I need to be able to just be like, I can record later instead of having to just break our constant uploading streak. Because at this point, we're at like, I don't know, months. I don't know how many months. I would say at least 4 or 5 months straight of uploading and hitting every mark. And I don't want to mess that up just because I was depressed or something. So I even changed and like wet my hair down and stuff. But like here I am admitting to all of you guys that it's like scripted. I filmed this right after the other one. And also it looks like the other one was shorter. I'm still learning this camera. That timer, which I had a theory, that's why I was like, I don't know about that the whole time. It's going based on total time filmed since I last formatted the camera, and I must have recorded something else before that since I formatted the camera, which I do recall doing. So it's including that time as well, which apparently was like 12 minutes or something, which is insane. What did I record for 12 minutes? I don't know. Anyway, so this week we're going to talk about everything that's happened the past, I don't know, 2 weeks probably it's been since I talked to you guys directly. No, it hasn't. It's felt like 2 weeks. I don't know how long it's been. Let me get my phone out of this. Okay. What has happened? What's happened? So the first thing that's happened is I bought this camera. Wow, was this camera expensive? I need to lick my wounds for quite a bit amount of time. Because this camera, I don't even want to say how much it was because I don't want anybody comparing or anything. It was insane. But it's because it's a professional level. It's literally a professional grade of camera. Like, you can record professional work with this, like movies and stuff. I don't plan on recording any movies anytime soon, but maybe. I more bought it for that Drunk podcast. Ooh. Coming soon. Very soon. Much sooner than you think, probably. Because I need professional quality recording for it. And this can provide that. However, I spent months, and I mean that, many, many months. It's probably been at least 5 months, probably more than that though. I'm just giving like the bare minimum amount. Just contemplating it, and I almost bought it during Black Friday, and then I was like, no, I can't afford it, and buying it is just going to be a problem, even though it's on sale, because my whole thing was I wanted to buy it because it was on sale, but then I was like, I can't afford it. Like, the reality is if I buy this, I'm shooting myself financially. Like, it can't happen. And I'm so glad I didn't, because I then proceeded to financially struggle for 6 to 8 weeks because I ended up getting super sick. And so I wasn't able to work for like a month or a month and a half or something. It was insane. I think it was just a month, but still. And that's really financially detrimental whenever you can't work for a month. And so I spent like 2 months recovering from that afterwards. And it was so good that I didn't buy the camera and stuff. And you know the crazy part is I actually had bought it initially, but the reason I decided to cancel it, I will say there's probably a little bit of like buyer's remorse, sure. But also, dang, am I like perfectly in the center? I didn't even plan that. There might have been like a touch of buyer's remorse element to it, sure. But it was more so that I saw it had to have a signature because it was considered like a large purchase or something like that, which it was. Somebody had to sign stating that they received it or they got the delivery. And I saw when it was coming, I wouldn't be home at that on that date. I would have still been in, at the time I was in Tennessee. And so I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work. Or I was gonna be at work. It was one or the other. Either way, I wasn't gonna be home. And so I ended up canceling it just because of that. And I'm so glad I did again. But recently I realized I was like, because I've been working more, and I was like, you know, if I could buy this. Like, if I keep working hard and I had some money set aside, and normally I would have put that money towards something else, but I was like, this is an investment, just in a different way. And so I spent a disgusting amount of money on this camera and its lens, but I got the perfect camera, the perfect lens. And you guys, when I say the memory card, oh my goodness. I need a drink, hold on. But the memory card, it was, I never in my life thought I would spend a lot of money on a memory card. To me, a memory card has always just been a memory card. I was super into like professional photography when I was younger. I still am. I love taking just a photo that looks beautiful and smooth and bright and stuff. That's one thing I've learned is I actually really like what's considered overexposed or too warm or too cool or whatever. I really like overdoing or underdoing certain elements, and I don't see a problem with it. Like, I'm sorry, like, judge me all you want, but like this scene is to somebody probably considered overexposed. I disagree. I think it looks fantastic. But that's just my style. That's the thing. But I know like all about cameras. Okay, now I'm by no means saying I am the professional photographer and know better than anybody ever. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I know cameras quite well. Okay, at least when it comes to shooting with them. Now I couldn't repair a camera. Don't get me wrong, but like I know ISO, shutter speed, aperture, how to balance things between the three, what each setting should be at. If the setting's not at this, why it's not, and can you get around it without external lighting? I know about the golden hour, backlighting. It's just like I was super into like professional photography and stuff. And so I got to learn a very, very useful stuff, mind you, by the way. For a camera like this especially, thank God. Honestly, I think God might have had me get into that for this, God willing. Maybe it's for another reason, I don't know, but it made it a lot easier because all I really had to learn was the menu of this camera, rather than if you bought this camera and knew nothing about cameras, it would be horrifying. It would be like a horror movie, genuinely. Same with I forget what it's called, but it's on this camera. It's basically telling you if your shot's overexposed or underexposed. It ranges from 000 to 2.00. What's it called? The light range or light something like that? Light scale? I don't know. Anyway, I got super into it, and so it made like this camera setup much easier. But one thing I never got into was memory cards, because I was like, a memory card is a memory card. Like, we are being dramatic. Why are they charging so much money for? Same with like SD cards or hard drives or something, or not SD cards. Sorry. With like thumb drives and like hard drives and stuff. I was like, why are we paying this much money for storage? Like, that's ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. Well, thanks to this camera and my thorough research, I've learned that memory cards can make a difference. Now, I still stand by there. Some are just upmarking it. Like, for example, a V90 for this camera versus like a V60. Like, at least for what I want to do with it, I think a V90 is just, how do I explain it? It's like putting a name brand on this. It's like getting, how do I explain this? I don't know. It's like getting a great value, which is like the Walmart brand, sandwich bag that's like $3 usually, and then slapping like great value X K-pop Demon Hunters on it, and then it charging $2 more, even though they're the same bag. Um, it seems like that. Like technically the bag is like red and it's like but like it's the same bag. You know, it has the same function. Um, but I don't know. I didn't look into V60, V90, all of that very much. I mainly looked into CF Expresses, CF Express Type A. I did a lot of fighting on it. I was like, because do you know how it's ridiculous. Okay, let me just tell you, okay? So with this camera, okay, there's like all these settings. Like there's like 422 10-bit versus basically I think the biggest difference I can explain is 8-bit versus 10-bit. From what I've learned, and again, I by no means became an expert on memory cards. I still have so much to learn. I know like the tip of the iceberg at this point about it, but a tip I didn't know existed, honestly. But basically, the main difference is a CF Express. Time to get for the camera nerds. I'll make it quick. But a CF Express Type A is basically it unlocks more bits, and so we're just gonna leave it at that. Okay, you can film in something called SI or intra mode on this camera without a CF Express Type A, which apparently is like basically exclusive to Sony. You can't even use that. So you can't even use this camera to the maximum of its ability. And I would have never thought that about a memory card. To me, a memory card is a memory card. It writes information on it. It has a gold that'll on the back, and it goes scribble, 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 scribble somehow. Like that's all that I knew. And then I found out with this is which is overwhelming, by the way. It's like a Wish, what's it called? Like a Wish label. You know, on Wish, they're all like, bright, shiny, happy, glittery, kids, fun. Like they have like 10,000 hot words in the name of the product. It was like that. It was like CF Express Type A, Sony G something, GE something, 400 rated, certified. I was like, Wish? Is that you, Wish? But then I found, and so I remember I was fighting. I was like, there's no way. Because normal price, it was for a 960 gigabytes amount of storage, which is a lot, by the way. That's almost a terabyte worth of storage. It was, I think full price, it was like $600 or $700. I'm sorry, what? I get it's a terabyte of storage, but like 200 maximum $200 is how much storage should cost for a terabyte worth. And that's insane, honestly. $200 just to store like you could get it cheaper than that. And so I was like, what makes this worth $600, $700? Is it really that big of a difference if I buy? Because the other option, I didn't look much into it because I found out CF Express Type A is the ultimate one, so I focused on that because I want the max capability out of this camera. I did not buy a camera to not use some of its features. That's crazy. And although the comparison I kept using was this is a Ferrari, and if I had bought the alternate type of SIM card, which is, I believe it's SDXC is the alternate type that it takes. It's like buying a Ferrari and then putting Goodyear tires on it and like having generic hubcaps. It's like, do you really have a Ferrari at that point, you know? Because like you can't go 0 to 100 in 2 seconds or whatever a Ferrari does, because those tires might lose traction or just whatever it may be. And so I found out, I've learned a lot. Honestly, this episode is just going to be me talking about camera stuff. But I learned that the 400 rating, so basically the differences between the two are insignificant to most, only significant if you're wanting professional level work out of it. Because at the end of the day, I mean, if you can record like fine videos, like most people would probably think they're great videos. Honestly, what we're recording on right now doesn't even require the card that I have, because I want to film in SI all the time, the intra mode all the time. The hard part is, and the crazy part is, which we're gonna try it, don't get me wrong, next week we're probably gonna try it because it's so much smoother, it's so much better. Because the difference between SI and the what I'm filming on right now is HS, I think. It's I forget the full name for it, but like it's like the middle tier. There's like the lowest tier, which is like S, and then there's like HS, and then there's like SI. That's an oversimplification, but just a simplified way of saying it. Basically, the biggest difference is the SI films fantastic. Like that's what you saw in the video that I uploaded, if I managed to get it into last week's episode. If it wasn't in last week's episode, it meant I wasn't able to get it in. But I think I'll be able to get it in. Anyway, that was filmed in SI. And SI is beautiful because every single frame is its own photo. It's its own clear photo, which is insane. Compared to any other mode, it's like doing math or whatever. And so that's why you'll see like some blurring or something, which you'll still see. And like if I go like this, like obviously my hand's not going to be perfectly like that. I couldn't tell you exactly why that is, to be quite honest. I don't know. But like maybe it is. I've never looked at SI straight, to be fair. I've always had to downgrade it because most medias, like most things, can't support SI level of filming. But anyway, back on track. Basically, a regular SD card, like an SDXC card, I would assume. Again, I didn't look much into those, but from what I know, it's not going to support like SI. And it doesn't have smaller things. Like the 400 rating means that it guarantees that the card is always running at least, I think it's 400 megabytes per second. It's always writing at that 400 speed at a bare minimum. And that means that you don't have to worry about it like corrupting or doing all of this stuff like nearly as much, if at all, as you would with like an XC card or a different, like the V60, V90, which is crazy, by the way. V60 and V90, that's what I mean with like, it's a Ferrari, like that's crazy. But anyway, so yeah, I never would have thought that I would have spent so much money on a memory card, but here we are. I spent a lot of money, and the worst part is I'm supposed to have 2 of them, and that's just like not happening for a long time. It was way too expensive. Thank God I got it on sale, but not like that big of a sale, not like 90% off. And even if it was 90% off, that's still like $60 or $70. That's still a lot of money. And yeah, so it's gonna be a while before I can get 2 of them. But same with, also, fun fact I learned, if you put in, so if you have the CF Express Type A, and then you put in an SDXC, basically your camera, the way that it works is the card with the worst settings is the one it operates at, which makes sense because it can only guarantee what the worst option is. Like, it makes sense. But I learned so much about memory. I would have never thought that memory cards mattered. And I still think to an extent, like, yeah, but 400 is insane, by the way, because apparently the average like writing speed is like, if I bought like a V60 or a V90 or whatever, it's like 70 to 100 or something. And this one's 400. What? I did all this. I really fought it though. I really was like, does it really make a significant difference? Because I was like, that's just, it's insane. It felt like, especially because it was Sony and it's super exclusive to Sony, because I ended up getting the Sony Tough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I got the Sony Tough. That's the one that I got. Um, and like apparently it's quite exclusive to Sony. Only like Sony really. Even the other comparable one I think was called like Gold something. It was something. It was the Gold series of, I forgot the brand, but it's a pretty well known photography brand. But even that one is like not quite the same as the Sony one, and they're actually all able to charge so much money because it's pretty exclusive to Sony. Like Canon and Nikon and all of these other brands and stuff don't use Type A at this point at least, and so Sony kind of has a monopoly with it, and it's not like widely available or whatever. Apparently, this Sony Tough that I have, because I got the one that can write up to 1,800 megabytes per second. I'm sorry, pardon me. That's insane. But yeah, it's insane. So I learned a lot about those, but I got that, and then I ended up getting. I remember when I found out about this brand of camera, I was like, this lens. Are we sure this is better than me just buying a Sony lens? Because it's called a Sigma lens, and I was like, I don't know. That sounds very Wish Walmart version. I never heard of it personally, but it was very concerning. Me checking the time we're at right now because I don't want to go over. Can you guys see this? Hold up. Can you even see this? Hold up. Can y'all? A little bit, I guess. Okay. Anyway, and so wait a minute. Okay, so I had to do a lot of research and I had to spend a lot of time waiting for this camera. And I thank God that I'm able to have this camera, and it's going to hit me like a hangover, like financially. It really is. But I love it. I love it. The quality. Do you guys see that? You guys, I'm not even filming in SI, so you're not even seeing the quality. Because I didn't look at like this quality. I didn't look at this and go like my jaw didn't drop. Actually, it kind of did. It actually kind of did. But like where my jaw dropped, because the thing is when you're filming it, you don't see the motion as much compared to when you're playing it back. But like when I went to SI and I saw that playback, it wasn't. It was like. It was like, you know that like trend from like COVID where like people would like follow their finger with the Conan Gray song, they're like, as she walked. Yeah, that. It's like most of the time it's like when people are going like this, like you can see like they're trying to make it smooth, but their eyes are going but. That's like whenever I'm filming with like the S or HS, I can see like the little like but with the SI, it's just it's insane. But it also takes up way more storage, y'all. You know what's insane? My memory card holds 960 gigabytes. And in SI mode, I can only film like 3.5 hours worth of content with it. In the mid tier, I can film almost 18 hours. In the lowest tier, I don't even know how much I could film. A lot worth of content. But 3.5 hours approximately of storage on SI is about a terabyte worth of data. That's insane. But the quality is also insane. It's just, it's insane. I'm obsessed with it. It's everything that I wanted out of a camera. But I just have to be reasonable, because at the end of the day, this setting is ideal for podcasts because it's not like I'm trying to get like a slow motion or anything. I'm mostly still. The background is mostly still. Like, there's no need to make every single photo every single scene an individual photo, because the most that's moving is my mouth. Everything else is quite still. And so filming in SI Kind of seems overkill. But am I gonna do it? Yeah. Because I stand by it makes a significant difference. And it might just be me being picky. I don't know. But y'all let me know what you think. I don't know. Also, can y'all let me know what you think of the audio? Because I have no mic right now for this. We talked about that in the last episode. I do not have money to be buying stuff like lighting or microphones right now because this camera hit. It was like, it was like, hey, I noticed that like financially you're doing pretty, like it just, and so I'm gonna need to lick my wounds for a little bit. Especially because I also have other parts of life, like Valentine's Day. I spent a decent amount of money, a good amount of money on it. And it's all reusable, thank God, for the most part. So, like, it was an investment, but, like, still, yeah. And so, I had to lick my wounds for a while. And once I've recovered a bit, then I will absolutely be getting that mic for the podcast. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. I already know that audio is going to be like, I imagine it's going to be the same quality as this camera is. And it's just going to be the chef's kiss. But for now, we have to go with just the camera audio. And so let me know what y'all think about that. If it's too quiet, if I need to up it, if it's too loud, if I need to down it, whatever it may be. I'm curious. I'm going to listen later. I'm kind of excited for that because this is going to be on Spotify. I'm kind of excited to be able to just like listen to this compared to like I'll listen to like the old podcast where we filmed with the mic that I had or have. I still have it compared to the quality of this audio because I imagine it's pretty. I imagine it's really good because this is again it's a professional grade camera. Now, granted, I did get like the XLR unit, which is just like it's like a handle that makes it so that you can use advanced audio stuff like microphones and stuff that are only like XLR compatible or whatever. But I still imagine that it's quite good audio quality given the camera quality. But actually, I was gonna say, but it's Sony. It's not Sony. I was gonna say that, but like it is Sony. So just more the reason to believe that it might have really good audio quality because Sony or Dolby, I guess. Is Dolby Sony? I don't know. Let's look that up. Because Dolby is the one most well known or whatever I would say. Is Dolby Sony? Yeah, Dolby is not Sony. I was about to say yeah they are because I saw it before Gemini. And then Gemini was like, no. So it's not Dolby probably, but like still, Sony is known for like their headsets and stuff. So yeah, they're more known for their cameras and filming, obviously. Do you know how much of the film industry is owned by Sony? It's insane. I don't know much about it, but I had to take a film class as one of my courses in college, and apparently Sony is like owns like everything. It's insane. But we had to write about who our favorite like director was, and when I found out that what's her name, the girl that plays Harley Quinn, and why am I not? I know her name. Margot Robbie. When I found out Margot Robbie was officially a director, well, actually, no, that's not what it was. What I found out was, the person who directed. She works with Margot Robbie a lot, basically, as a director. And so, me trying not to get my feet in the clip, because that's weird. But, I don't know. It's just fun. I'm so excited for this camera quality, you guys. Oh my goodness. But whenever I found out that Margot Robbie was a director, I was like, absolutely. But it actually wasn't Margot that I put somebody who worked... All of these films that I like, I found out they shared, like, a director, and then that's who I put down. But... yeah, there was probably all these film majors in there, and then I was just there like, I just need a diversity credit. Like, thanks guys. No, my diversity credit was dance. That's what my diversity. I actually wanted to learn dance. It just ended up being like the history of dance, which makes sense given I took an online version, but like, still. And then for the final, I took an online accelerated version, so yeah, it makes sense. But at the end, we actually had the option to submit like an essay or a dance, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna take the essay because I know I can do really good on the essay, but I didn't know that I could do really good on the dance, and I didn't want to tank my grade because I decided for the final I would try to learn to dance. But I just want to learn, and I do kind of want to learn to dance. I forgot about that. I need to like look into that because now that I've been like living on my own and I'm like older and stuff, I can actually do things that I've always wanted to do, and I don't really think about that enough. But I need to really get into that. I imagine this is so okay. By the way, update on the podcast I've been listening to, you guys. Um, I've been binging basically unfiltered still. I'm almost done with it. I'm currently on what, episode 9? Let me see. Um, what does this say? Great. Oh, cool. Sorry, I'm getting all these texts. I'm so famous. Um, what was I doing, chat? I can't think. Chat, I can't think. What was I? Those texts distracted me so badly. Now I'm thinking about my future. We were talking about something. I don't know. Sorry, chat. I forgot. I wanted to get into these things and blah 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 blah. I don't remember. But regardless, guys, what was I checking? When I was in college, I learned to dance. I wanted to learn to dance. Oh, basically unfiltered. Okay. So, y'all right now screaming at the camera like, basically unfiltered. I am currently on, wow, this is just embarrassing. It's just like making me wait. Okay, I'm on episode 8. So I've watched from the most recent episode up to like the end of January or whatever until episode 8, which is like 94. Well, actually, there's like 94 episodes from episode 0 to the end of January or whatever. I'm on episode 8 right now. So I've listened to like 86 or something like that episodes of the podcast, which is insane. But it just shows like I get committed to something. If I start watching something, I like have to finish it. I think it's like an OCD symptom. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But like, I like have to finish it. It's like a commitment. I remember with Just Trish, I was gonna do it with Just Trish, and I was actually making severe progress with Just Trish because I love Just Trish. But then I was like, no, I want 2016 part 2. Sorry, I forget it's not 2016. But I want 2016 part 2 to be its own year. I don't want anything from 2025 to bleed into it, and anything other than that. I wanted it to be its own year, fresh start. And Just Trish was 2025, and like she kept talking about basically unfiltered. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I started listening to it, and I was like, at first I was like, yeah, okay, like it seemed faked, it seemed staged, but I got really into it. I don't know, it's pretty good, honestly. It's good chatter. There's good chemistry. It's fantastic. So I'm almost done with that. But then after that, I don't know, guys. I'll probably listen to Pretty Basic again. I haven't listened to that in ages, and I've missed a lot of stuff. So I don't know though. It's really hard once I've watched basically unfiltered, separating it to either unfiltered or Pretty Basic, because it seems like I'm only getting half the story. It's kind of hard to justify. I don't know. It seems a not productive use of time, because basically unfiltered is like both of them in one. But like with Pretty Basic and unfiltered, I have to listen to like twice the amount of content or more, and that's insane. So I don't know. I wonder how they're doing unfiltered. Oh, did Zane move to 10? Let's see. I don't know. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so that's my little podcast update. I've been really into it and binging that, and I don't know what I'll listen to after, but I don't have to worry about that yet because I still have to catch up everything since January, because I know they apparently took January off, I guess. And so I shouldn't have that much to catch up on, honestly, because it's early February. But like, I have some stuff to catch up on, so I don't know. We'll see. Regardless, my body's feeling, I'm really good at time. It's feeling that we're close to the end of the episode. Let's see. Where are we at with time chat? Can y'all see my phone still? Yeah, regardless, it is what it is. It's been a lot. That was just a part of it. That was just the camera. Like, that's basically it. Me when the camera. I love the camera. That's the thing. Is I love the camera. This text reminded me of like my spiral of like, should I be getting, because I got a text saying these people offer a master's in psychology, and I'm like, should I be like reapplying and stuff? Because I didn't get it in the first round. But what's tying me back to is I don't have any letters of recommendation anymore. Like, that's not really something you keep, from what I know. It's something that they submit like one time or whatever, and that's it. And so I don't have any anymore unless I ask them again for it. But also, where did those get me? You know? Because it didn't get me into any of the programs I applied to, not even my local college that I graduated with my bachelor's in. So, I don't know. Regardless, now I'm thinking about that too, but has anything else happened since Valentine's Day was beautiful? Wow, I have so many photos. I saw this ring. Okay, look up right now. Serpenti, Serpenti, Viper ring, BVLGARI. It is, y'all, I saw that yesterday and I was like, because this was when my Valentine's Day was like not going the way that I thought it was gonna go. And so I saw that yesterday and I was like, I should do it. Like, I should do it. But then I was like, okay, if it's less than like $1,400 or like less than $1,500, I'll look at it. Because at the end of the day, I don't think I could afford a $1,500 ring. So I can't say if it's less than $1,500, I'll buy it. Because, like, what? And so I was like, if it's less than $1,500, I'll look at it. It's not. It is $2,700 about. It's $2,680 before taxes. And it's just a ring, you guys. It's just a ring. And tell me, because people with bigger fingers get more gold for the same price, I bet you. Like, something else I've learned recently, I was looking at getting a pair of Louboutins, because I found out that they have men's Louboutins, and they actually had like a nice set. I was looking at, I don't remember anymore, this was like months ago, or like 8 months, maybe 2 months ago. But I was looking at it, and then I found out I have to call a boutique to get them, because they don't have any like local vendors or whatever. And in order to order it online, I had to call somebody. And I just don't feel bougie enough to be speaking to a Louboutin representative. And so I was like, no, thank you. It was like $1,500 or $1,600 anyway. So I'm like, but yeah, my brain just has been seeing expensive stuff and being like, ooh, shiny. The way that I saw it was kind of like an investment just in myself, not really like financially. But like, not really at all financially. Louboutins would not be a financial investment. But just in myself and my confidence being able to, because I could just wear them to work like every day. Because I work in an office. And so it's like fitting, and it's like a subtle flex of like people who know. And even I know every time I'm walking, I'm like showing off or whatever. It's just like, I was like, that would be fantastic. But like $1,500 to $1,700, guys, for a pair of shoes. No, not anytime soon. Same with the ring. Even if it was $1,500, I don't think I'd have gotten it. I think like maybe $700 is the most I'd be able to pay for it, and even that would hit me so hard for a ring. But it is Bulgari, so it's not surprising. I bet you it's actual gold. Maybe not. If it's plated, I'm gonna be mad. You can't plate that kind of stuff. You can't just. I guess Bulgari could, but I hope that they're not. I've also exhausted, like, okay, so I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I have previously gotten really into Asian thrillers specifically. I'm not even gonna, because the thing is, it's not even just like Korean or just Japanese. Asian thrillers as a whole are fantastic. I've been watching Korean ones are like Koreans really know how to make cinema. They're really good. But like I've also seen Japanese ones that are good, Taiwanese ones that are good. I've seen fantastic content from Asia. And I'm kind of sort of finishing them all off. Now I'd have to dub or sub them instead of dubbing them to English. Because the thing is, when I'm watching them, I don't want to read subtitles. It's just an extra stressor. I want to be able to watch it just chilling out, just being able to like analyze like the emotions of everybody, relate to the person and stuff. Like I don't want to read the subtitles, y'all. And so I'm exhausted like most of the ones that don't require subtitles. And there's some that look so good. There's one called, I think it was called Forgotten in English. It's called Olvidado in Spanish though. And it looks so good. It's like a photo of like they have like a needle up to their eye and they're crying. And it looks like it would be like a thriller that I would like love. I love thrillers just because I love analyzing people and stuff. And thrillers are usually, I don't know, I like psychological thrillers, I should say. I can't say thrillers are usually psychological, but I usually interpret them that way. But there's just so much to see in a thriller, but it's really hard to analyze people when you're having to read everything that they're saying. And so I'm hitting that point, and it's such a disappointment, such a letdown. It's a tragedy. Alexa, just cry with me about this. I'm just kidding. Alexa, I don't have an Alexa. But anyway, I've been running out of that as well. I guess my media content better not be done. But I will say, the one last thing before we go, okay, I will say, is I am ready for Coachella 2026, you guys. I'm ready for Coachella 2016 part 2. I have like a fit already for the. I don't have a shirt actually planned yet. I don't think. No, I think I did. I wrote it down because I knew I'd forget. But I bought the puka shell finally because the puka shells were like famous in 2016. I just need a bandana. That's what I need still. And I'm just gonna dress up 2016 for. I'm sure a lot of people are. And I'm not going. Don't get me wrong. I tried to get tickets, I think, but I couldn't. And I think I could, but they were way too expensive. I think that's what it was. I just couldn't justify paying that much money to be miserable in the heat. Because it's like during summer too. Why would you do that? It's like summer season. They really should throw that in like a better time, like spring. But anyway, is that spring? Anyway, I just know Coachella is famously just horrible and you're just dehydrated and sweating and miserable. And I think that the bathrooms are porta potties and you're paying hundreds of dollars for general admission. It's insane. But thank God they broadcast it on YouTube. So I get to enjoy it in the comfort of my own home. And whenever I get tired of it, I can just put on something else until the next person, or play something else until the next person that I want to see. And I don't have to travel, I don't have to pay for an Uber, a hotel, none of it. So I am prepared mentally and physically, I believe, for Coachella Part 2. Coachella Part 2, sorry, 2016 Part 2 Coachella. Anyway, I think I'm going to cut it off there, you guys. But thank you all so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, if you're enjoying the video format too, let me know. I'm enjoying it. I love using this camera. I love using a camera anytime I can. But thank you all so much for listening. I love you all so much. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please, I would really appreciate it if you gave us a follow, share it with some friends. Sure. But most importantly, what really means the most to me is if you could leave a good review. 5-star, 10-star, thumbs up, whatever platform you're watching it on. It really means so much to me. It helps me out so much. And if you share it, it helps spread it. I would, as I always say, I'd always love for this to become like my full-time job, but as of right now, I love it as a hobby. So thank you all so much for listening. I love you all. I will see you guys next week. Bye, beautiful people.